Okay, so today we're going to do a training on how to get started with your stories, editing, writing, or quality controlling of the stories for our Roonga Adopt a Family. So the way that it works is that once the system goes live and we're ready to have editors or writers or quality control work on their stories, you'll get an email from the volunteer program manager. In that email, it'll give you all the information that you need. So the first thing it's going to have the Roonga site. It's going to have orientation materials, and those are going to be based on what you are doing in your section. So if it's writing guidelines or editing guidelines or a mix of both for quality control, you have your Google document link, which is also going to be important, and we'll go through each of these different steps. And then it's going to have notes down here that pertain to your different area. The biggest thing is going to be your submitter notes and where to put them, but we'll go over all of this. Then you'll get your assignments. So it's going to have the agency ID, the number of families, and then who the editor is. And all of these stories will be yours. You then will have contact information. If any Roonga or family problems occur, any editing or quality control problems occur, and then any writing story problems occur. And so this will all be updated every year, but this will show you how to do it because I feel like that's missing in all of our training and explanations. So what you're going to do, the first step, is you go into your Roonga site. When you go into your Roonga site, you're going to log in with this information. If you're already logged in, make sure you log out and enter this information because that way then you're able to do the steps that you need to for whichever part of the story you're working on. Make sure that before you start, you go over all the materials that you have down here. So there'll be a link to an orientation/training, there'll be writing guides, and then you have this Google document link. When you click on this Google document link, it is going to take you to all of the stories. And at the time, this might be blank because the stories are currently being submitted. When you originally get on here, what you're going to see is that all of the stories are going to say not started. So then the editors will first go in. They're going to add these numbers over here based on what's being submitted. Then they're going to change this to editing complete once they're done. Once that editing is complete, then it's going to be the next step and the writers are going to take over. The writers will then go in, they'll search for the story in Roonga. They will then write the story and then they're going to change it to story writing complete. And that's how quality control knows that they're now ready. Each time a step is taken, the next group can take over. So once a story is edited complete, then the writers can take over. Once the story is story writing complete, then the quality control can take over. It's really important that we're following those separate steps. Then once story writing is complete, quality control will go in, they'll search for this number, and then they'll update it and edit it, make it quality control complete, and then the story will be posted and ready to go on Roonga. When you're going through this process, you'll come across different questions. You'll put those questions in here, but then you'll also add them to Roonga. And so we're going over our flow sheet first, then we'll go over Roonga and how it works. This also will let you know where we are in the story writing phase. So say that I am a writer and I'm ready to write Aspen. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to see, okay, Aspen editing is complete. So now I can start writing those stories. If I come in here and I'm quality control and I'm like, I'm going to do apricot. I come in and I see that apricot has been edited, but the stories have not been written. So I'm not able to do my quality control yet. I need to wait until the stories are written in order to do quality control. Because all of my assignments are right here, I can look up Aspen, I can look up Cedar, Earth, and if the story is edited, then story writers are ready to go. If on your assignments your story is written, you're ready to go. And so it's based on the process is going to be based on how you do it. So the first step is going to be our editors, then it's going to be our story writers, then it's going to be quality control. And one needs the other in order to move along. So hopefully that explains this sheet, and the sheet is easy to use. Helps if I open the sheet. On the bottom, you're going to find everything you need to know ABC-wise. So you're going to have A through D on here. We'll have E through H on here. And it's a great guide because it shows us where we are along in the story writers so we know when we're done. When we're writing our stories, like for example, this story was edited, but they're waiting for the relationship of a 6-year-old Miranda. So they put this note here so the volunteers know. Then once community programs gets the answer back from the liaison, they'll update this and then the story can be written or it can move on to the next step of the writing process. If you have any questions, let the volunteer program manager know. They can go over those details with you, but it's pretty simple. That way everyone can see what's going on. Next, we're going to go over Roonga. So on this sheet, we've looked at our agencies. These are the stories that are assigned to us. If it's too many or you find that you need a little bit of help or that it's something where you want more stories, let the volunteer program manager know or whoever is coordinating it so that they can get you all set up and ready to go. So we looked at all of our materials. We clicked on the link and watched the training. We clicked on our writing guides and went over them. We've looked at our Google document link that's going to tell us where the stories are and ready to go. Now we're going to look at our Roonga. So we click into Roonga. So I am logged in under someone else. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to log out. I'm then going to go up here to the login page. I click login. When I do, I'm going to type in the information that is on this. So here's my email that I'm going to use for my username. And then here's my password that I'm going to use. And then I should be good to go. You can choose to save the password or not. You'll use it this entire season, but then next season we'll have a different password if it's something that you're interested in continuing doing. I click login and it's going to take me into the different profiles. So you'll see this is 2024, this is 2025. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this review profiles. When I review the profiles, it's going to take me to the page of all of the profiles. So what you can do is you can search for your profile here. I recommend that the easiest thing for you to do is to go into your flow sheet, click whatever story it is that you're working on. You can copy it, and then you can paste it into this search bar here. Once you paste it into the search bar, if Roonga is working correctly, it should bring up the story. You can then come in, you can click on the story. And by story, it's not a story, it's a family. It's a family details. So if you're an editor, what you're going to do is you're going to edit all of the details that go with the family. If you are a writer, you're going to write the story that's up here. So originally when our liaisons submit information, they submit information for each of the family members. They then submit the details for anything that's going on with the family. And so what I'm going to do is say that I'm editing this story. I'm going to go in, I'm going to click edit. I'm going to go down here, I'm going to click edit, and then I can start editing all of these details based on the training link that I gave you. Judith goes over everything and how to do it and make it so that everything is consistent across the families. So we're changing these, we're updating the information. Then once I'm done with that, I'm going to go down here and click save. And then I also have to scroll to the very, very bottom and click save and exit. I know it's gray, but we're going to want to do that so that it saves it. I then also am going to make sure that I add my notes up here. So in the internal notes section, I'm going to write that my initials, so CC, edited and complete, and then the date that it was done. You can also make any changes that you need to up here. So what that means is that I have to go up here to edit, input my information right here, and then maybe they had active duty or unhoused or whatever it happens to be. I can edit any of this information up here, and then it's good to go. So say I'm a story writer. So what I'm going to do is I don't need to look at these details down here. I just need to look at the story. So I'm going to go in here, I'm going to click edit, and then I'm going to take the details that they gave me and I'm going to write the family a personalized story. You'll learn all about that when you do the writing, when you go through the writing information, the guidelines, and then the training video and anything else that you need to do. But it's one of those things where I take this story, I'm going to get it, I'm going to rewrite it so that it's ready to go, mark anything that I need to do, and then I'm going to add my initials. Writing complete. And then the date. I click save, and now it's ready to go to quality control. After I do this, I'm going to make sure that I click save and exit down here, because if I do not, so the save and exit, if I do not and I just go to a different story, so I go to my dashboard, it will not save the details that you added. So you can see that in my internal notes, I'm going to go to edit. Oh, it did. Never mind. Sometimes it saves it, sometimes it doesn't. So I always just save it in each section and then also save and edit it, save and exit on the bottom, because if you don't, sometimes it'll save things, sometimes it won't. So now I'm quality control. I'm going to go in, I'm going to edit, I'm going to check the stories, I'm going to check all these details, I'm going to check all of the wish lists, and then I'm going to save it and publish it. So quality control will have a different login information so that you can approve the stories. So down here on the bottom, instead of it saying save and exit, it's going to say approve, and I will show you that right now. So as quality control, you'll go into manage profiles. You'll do the same thing. Search the story, click on it, go into edit it, or you can just do it from this general page. After you've gone through and made sure everything is okay, you click approve, and then it'll post the story so it's ready to go. They're very simple, very easy way to do it. Once I've done whatever it is, quality control, editing, or writing, I'm going to make sure I go into my flow sheet. I'm going to update this to whatever section is done so the next volunteer can take over. Hopefully this helps you with the process. If you have any questions, let me know, but all of the details will be in that email that you get. It'll tell you the Roonga site information, give you all your orientation materials, along with the link to that status that we're going to consistently update, and that's going to be your chart of how you know how you're doing. It'll give you details on submitting, and then it'll give you your stories and the ones to work on. And then as you get ready, you might need to wait for the volunteer before you to finish either editing, story writing, whatever it happens to be. But then once they're ready to go, then you can start on your own stories or your own story aspects. Perfect. If you have any questions, please reach out to the volunteer program manager and we'll get you help right away.